Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking some absolutely crucial shifts in exactly how the Indian stock market closes out its trading day. You know those final moments of trading? They've literally always been high stakes, but the mechanics behind the scenes are evolving fast. And if you're an active participant, staying ahead of this is an absolute must. I mean, if you've ever felt your heart rate spike watching those final few minutes of the trading day tick down, you are definitely not alone. The closing bell usually brings this unpredictable flurry of activity, right? Well, don't worry, because this explainer is your actionable guide to exactly what is changing. We're going to break down the new rules of engagement so you can hit the end of the day with total confidence and real strategic clarity. Okay, here's our breakdown for today. First, the new closing mechanism. Second, the updated market timings. Third, executing orders in the CAS. And finally, number 4, the key benefits for you. Let's jump right into part 1, the new closing mechanism. So there's a really stark contrast between the two systems. Under the old process, the market basically relied on a passive 30-minute average calculation. It was essentially looking backward over the last half hour of trading to figure out the closing price. And hey, it worked, but it was kind of opaque and sometimes just totally failed to capture the real-time market sentiment right at the bell. But this new process, it completely flips the script. Instead of that passive calculation, we now have an active closing auction session, meaning the closing price is now determined by active order matching right at the very end of the day. We are officially moving away from a system that was, let's face it, pretty passive, and shifting into a highly dynamic, transparent order matching engine. The whole goal of this new closing auction session, or CAS, is maximum execution. The system is literally built to match buyers and sellers in a way that executes the highest possible volume of orders. So this isn't just some minor technical tweak, it's a massive upgrade for true price discovery. It ensures that the closing price is actually an accurate reflection of real supply and demand. Moving on to part 2, updated market timings. All right, the absolute most crucial thing to wrap your head around here is that the closing bell doesn't ring at the exact same time for everything anymore. For non-F&O cash stocks, so your standard cash equities, things haven't changed. Normal trading still wraps up right at 3:30 p.m. But for F&O cash market stocks, normal trading actually ends earlier now at 3:15 p.m., and then it rolls right into the new auction session, which runs until 3:35 p.m. And finally, the F&O segment itself, that trading time has actually been extended out to 3:40 p.m. So this staggered setup means you absolutely have to know exactly which segment you're playing in as the afternoon winds down. Which brings us to part 3, executing orders in the CAS. Picture this digital order book during a frantic countdown at the very end of the day. During the CAS, knowing exactly when to use a limit order versus a market order becomes your biggest asset. The market isn't just open for a free-for-all anymore. It operates in these very specific, tightly controlled phases to make sure the close is fair and orderly. Honestly, understanding how to interact with the order book during these specific minutes, that's what's going to separate the novices from the pros. Think of it like a ticking clock with 3 very distinct phases. Step 1 is this 5-minute window from 3:20 to 3:25 p.m., where the system accepts both market and limit orders. This is basically your first chance to get in on the closing auction. But then the rules tighten up. In Step 2, from 3:25 to 3:30 p.m., the system strictly restricts entries to limit orders only. This is super important because it stops wild, last-second market orders from artificially skewing the price. Finally, Step 3, from 3:30 to 3:35 p.m. is the matching phase. No new orders are accepted here, and the system just does the heavy lifting to pair everyone up. I really want to emphasize that last phase. Those final 5 minutes from 3:30 to 3:35 p.m., that is the grand finale. During this specific window, your hands are tied. You cannot intervene. The system is entirely dedicated to matching all those accumulated orders to uncover the absolute fairest final closing price based on the maximum volume of executable trades. It is essentially an algorithmic balancing act, trying to find the perfect equilibrium between supply and demand to close out the day. Let's bring it all home with part 4, key benefits for you. By actively matching these orders, this whole system directly benefits you in 3 distinct ways. First up, we get significantly better price discovery. This is a total game changer on expiry days, making sure the pricing is exceptionally accurate and fair. Second, we get reduced volatility. Because the closing volume is concentrated into this structured auction, it really calms down those wild, volatile swings we used to see right at the bell. And third, better alignment. The staggered timings and this new structured close open up much cleaner, far more efficient arbitraging and hedging opportunities between the cash and derivatives markets. It's just a tighter, way more professional market structure overall. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to really think about the real world application here. With this new, highly structured, and totally transparent final half hour, the rules of the game have evolved. How are you going to adapt your strategy before the next big expiry day bell rings? Because understanding these mechanics, well, that's your very first step to actually leveraging them. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.